Victoria Chaka, Miss Solushola, Miss Anne Ogochuku. Yeah, we're waiting for others to join. The class starts by 4 o'clock on the dot. And I'm glad to note and observe that these 3 scholars have demonstrated promptness, resilience, and commitment to scholarship by coming in good time. It is highly appreciated. Thank you so very much. And I do hope that your steadfastness take us through to the end of this class and make it more of a participatory one. Thank you so very much. So we are giving our colleagues up to 10 minutes past 4 for us to launch into the class discussion. Yes. The door of entry is still open for all scholars of CSS, PhD, postgraduates, diploma students who are offering CSS753 research methods in criminology. Today, Wednesday, the 28th of April, 2021, is a date with you. That's ACM, that is ACFN connected. Yeah, I can see ACFN account. Can you put in your name there so that we can call you by your name, please? Yeah, ACFM accounts. Can we know your name, please? Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my dear. How are you?
Daniel Busari.
Good to meet you again. Sir. Your name is Busari, right?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's the Busari of my friend. Wow, can you change your nomenclature here into Busari, please? Or is it not possible here? It's reflecting.
I'm using someone else's laptop.
Okay, no wonder. Busari, how has been your day?
Yes, we thank God, sir. It's been fine, sir.
Great. So today promises to be a good day of engagement once again.
Yes, sir.
As we relax and make it participatory, you know.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have you been assigned to a project supervisor?
No, I'm in my first semester.
Okay. Yeah, we are waiting for the in about 5 minutes time. We will launch into the class.
All right.
So whenever our colleagues come in, and then let's have a fuller house before we kickstart the discussion.
Okay, sir. No problem.
Yeah. And Ogochuku, can you unmute yourself? That is Dawari Williams. You're welcome to the class. Welcome, Dawari Williams. Victoria Chaka, you're welcome once again. Miss Solushola, you're welcome once again. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope today will be another interesting day as we rub minds together. We are waiting. We are having 4 minutes more to get into the class, to hit the ground running in this class. You know, the last time we deliberated on which topic? Who can remind us? Mr. Busari, can you remind of what topic the title of the topic we worked on last week? or were you not in the class? That's Miss Olusola.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, my dear. How are you? Can you remind us of the topic?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, can you remind us of the title of the topic we dealt with last week?
Research problems.
Great, research problem. That's wonderful. While we wait for the next 3 minutes to launch into today's topic, which is literature review processes. Topic 4 is today's topic. Eunice, Ola, you're welcome. Even though you are still connected. Eunice, Ola, you're welcome. Welcome to the class today. So today's topic is going to be dealing on literature review processes. Today we are going to bisect and digest literature review processes in research methodology. So it's going to be wonderful. Yeah, we have 2 more minutes to start our class. So who can remind us of the topic the week before last? The title of the topic for the week before last.
Yeah, I've not even been joining this class.
You've not been joining, Anne? Why?
It was just last week I had the opportunity to be with you in the class.
Wow, you've been missing a lot. Anyway,
yes.
we shall have a roundup, a kind of rounding up when we'll be concluding this facilitation. In the 80th week, we will use the 9th week to round up, do a kind of summary of everything we have done, so that for those of you who did not start with us, you will be put abreast with all that we have done. So I promise to give you 1 week summary, you know.
Okay.
So 1 more minute before we start. 1 more minute.
Professor, please, can you just give us the topic of the last 2 classes? Maybe we can just read it up.
No, my classes are not things you read up. It's things that you must be there. You just must be there.
Oh.
Honestly. Honestly.
Right.
So we'll kickstart today's own right away. Today, permit me please to share my screen. Am I permitted?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, so
yes,
I share my screen, gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I'll be with you soon. Very soon.
Okay, sir.
Very soon. I'm trying to locate my file. Yeah. So now I can share my screen.
Okay, so quick question.
Pardon? Question?
Yes, there are some people who are doing this course, but the message wasn't passed through their mail. I have a friend when I told her about it, that was like yesterday. I told her we were having a facilitation class. She was like, she hasn't gotten any mail.
Wow.
She doesn't know about it.
Please link the person up.
Right
either
now.
Through your own, either through yourself, or the person should come to my office and register her mail, my mailbox, so that everything will get across, you know. Link the person up, call on the person to say that the class is on right now. You know.
For the sake of today, maybe I should just share the link to her.
Please go ahead, do that. That's good.
Thank you,
That's
sir.
good.
Thank you, sir.
It's a pleasure.
I'll have to leave. I have to leave the group, the Zoom, and get back, sir.
Oh, please do that. Do that. So we are kickstarting immediately.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. I sent it to her.
Great, thank you.
All right, sir. Thanks, sir.
So, like I said on the introductory pitch, you know, I said that today we'll be talking about topic 4 of CSS753, and this topic 4 will be dealing with literature review processes. The name of your lecturer today is not a strange one, but it's still the same lecturer you always had, Dr. Dickson Igwe. So we swing forward straight into the learning outcome. It is actually expected that at the end of this class, my students should be able to conceptualize literature review. They should also identify the importance of literature review. They should also appreciate, enumerate the components of literature review. The resources available for reviewers will also be articulated. Recording information obtained from literature review, have some gadgets that you must use. And some of these gadgets, we're going to also brainstorm on them. As we move on, please join the chariot and let us go into the class for this wonderful discussion. By way of commencement, we say literature review conceptualize. Okay? The process of reviewing literature is one involving deliberate efforts to engage related previous work, research work, I mean. Research, as we said from the onset, topic 1, is a building blocks where researchers build on what other researchers, previous researchers had built up to. You cannot carry out a new research without recognizing the old ones. There is no research that is exhaustive. And so there must be one weakness or strength or whatever about a particular research. Even the one you're going to do, you can't be perfect about research to say that nobody can fault your work or your research. There is no thesis. When I mean thesis, I mean PhD research that is error-free, is not anywhere in the whole wide world. So to this end, there is always editing and upon editing. Even if you get to do a research that others have done, okay, to validate and you got the same result, The question will still be, did you follow the universally known standards of research processes and procedure? That is the point. There is nobody who had done research that is perfect in anywhere in any part of the world. So literature review is where you identify the faults, the strength of researches done before the one you want to do. And to get that, you must review those literature that are related to your choice of topic or issue of concern. It is to this end that it intends, literature review intends to critically examine previous scholarly efforts so as to validate or invalidate the conclusions. All research have got conclusion, have got findings. So it's not enough that your finding fills the gap created earlier in chapter 1, but the question is, what process and procedure did you go through to arrive at that conclusions or finding that to you had filled the gap? Okay, so it is consequent upon this that we say that literature review is that we say the critical nature of literature review suggests that something is wrong with the finding of previous research. But that is not to say that while you are doing literature review, you should have a prejudice or a predetermined mindset that these researches review that I'm doing now are all faulty. No, it's not so. You have to have an open mind and do a review that is free from subjectivism, free from prejudice. Literature review cut across gap, theory, methods, and findings of previous research. The importance of literature review, however, includes demonstration of weakness and strength of previous research, revelation of gaps in knowledge. Through literature review, future research gap is created. If there is no gap in knowledge in the area of your interests, of your research interests, there will be no need for that research. There must be a gap in knowledge that will warrant and form the basis for your research enterprise, So research is a secondary data reviewed in line with research objectives. Of course, you know that when research gap is created, the next thing that follows it is emergence of research questions that when they are answered, okay, this gap is filled. And if you have questions to answer in a research in order to fill a gap, it means therefore the objective of that research enterprise is the basic aim or purpose of that research will be to answer the questions. Hence, your research objectives being a transposition of research questions. Okay, so your research questions cannot be different from your research objectives. Are you hearing me, gentlemen and ladies?
Yes, sir.
Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Is my screen share okay? Are you seeing it? Is it visible?
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Great. So please just be attentive while we finish the discussion. While we finish the narratives, okay, we will enter into another segment of open class discussion, asking of questions, observations, and all of that. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The
Yes,
importance
All right.
of research of literature review further is to generate dispassionate articulation. You see, it's when you are reviewing literature and you are seeing the way people had demonstrated skills in research. that you begin to have that dispassionate articulation of what could be wrong with this narrative, this conclusion, this finding. What is it that others have done that this person did not do? Why is what others have done better than what this person have done? Okay, which one should I then support or negate? Okay, this should be the mindset of a reviewer. And if you have such mindset, it means you are a critical reviewer. Okay, so without literature review, primary data will not be justified. The primary data here is the data you collect from the field. As raw as they are, there must be some elements of your literature review, the secondary data, that will justify those realities or raw data that you got from the field. It is on the basis of your secondary data articulation from literature review that you tend to explain and discuss your major findings. Either because, for instance, the other researches done in the area of rainfall, what factor contribute to rainfall or show evidence of rainfall. And while some researchers say it is thunderstorm, when you see a sign of thunderstorm, it means that in the next few minutes or hours, rain will fall. The other researcher will say, if you see the sign of cloudy weather, therefore it means that in no time, rain will fall. But not many people had seen sunshine, intensive sunshine, as a possible factor that could suggest that rain will fall few minutes time. Okay, so it is important that you look at things that others have concluded at and say it is sufficient that they made this conclusion, or it is not sufficient their conclusions. Okay, and this is why you must review widely, so that you don't box yourself up with just few write-ups from your enclave. Go beyond your enclave, okay? Because today the world is a global community, is it not so? If the world is a global community, what is happening here in Nigeria should also be a reflection of what the global atmosphere, okay? The global meltdown as a result of COVID-19, is it only Nigerian phenomenon?
No, sir.
Is it? It's a global phenomenon. Yeah, it's a global phenomenon. We may be having it rough now in terms of financial recession, but there are countries who have also had who had worse situation than ours. We may be having it rough here, from the insecurity standpoint, but there are other countries that have worse situation than our own. Okay, so I'm saying that your research review, your literature review should not just be within Nigerian review, within your state review. Go beyond. There is what we call moving from the general to the particular. Proper literature review, objective literature review are those ones that review from international, from global to international, to intercontinental, to regional, to country, and to state. The same way when you are even writing or articulating, expressing yourself, you don't just jump into talking about how Nigeria, how your states fared well more than the whole other states. No, you start faring well from global perspective, into continental perspective, into regional perspective, into Nigerian perspective, before you come particularly in your own context. This is how this context have fared well. Am I communicating?
Yes, sir.
Great. Without literature review, of course, I said primary data will not be justified. Following the fact that the importance of literature review is seen because it opens up further discussion on a given subject matter. You know, it leads to a scholarly intercollegial network and collaboration. Yeah. You see, when you are reviewing literature from America, from Scandinavia, from Jamaica, anywhere, name it, name the country, you know. Some people say that the library is the den of dead men knowledge. The den of dead men knowledge. That you see most books, most researches, all the researchers are maybe people who have died so many centuries ago. Because I can see some of you who I'm even supervising making reference to somebody to a literature, okay, or to research done in 1960, done in 1945. 1960 people, those whose birthday was 1960, you know, by this time they are 60 years. I mean 61 years. Okay, so some people make reference to Karl Marx of the 18 something. You know, so that means that those ideas are ideas of dead men. So what we are saying here is that intercollegial networking and collaboration is one importance of literature review. When you are reviewing the work of other people from beyond your own shore, you are connecting with foreign ideas, foreign cultures, foreign perspectives. And some of us who want to meet with these professionals to rub mind with them. By virtue of their work that we have read, we want to say, let me reach out to this author. As we start writing to authors for one thing or the other, is that not collaboration? That's intercollegial network. So the next segment is the components of literature review. Literature review is critical, no matter how you look at literature review. For it to what it's billing, it must be critical. If it is not critical, it is not literature review. If you take away criticism from literature review, there is no argument here. There is nothing to talk about. There is nothing to review. It is actually the criticism that points out the weakness of what others have done and the strength of what others have done. Okay, and then that is where your argument starts and ends. Okay, you either argue for what others have done or you argue against it. It's immaterial. Whichever direction the pendulum swings, it doesn't matter. It's not an offense for researchers to decide against what opinion of others or to approve of others' opinion. It is a component of literature review to be dispassionate. It is a dispassionate exercise. It is purely based on objective criteria, objective considerations. You must be reviewing without having a biased mind, without having a spoiled mind about Nigerian authors, state authors, your brother or your sister or your tribal man who wrote because he has written, you suspect that his write-up is better than your own, and you begin to feel, this one has not got it. The issue is that research in Nigeria is research in England, research in anywhere in the world, because they have is a universal language. Okay, so literature review is a second-hand information. It is second-hand because what you are reviewing for critical evaluation is not your product. You will never create such knowledge. You only want to sip from the impact or import of that knowledge. Literature review acknowledges knowledge production. Literature review without acknowledgement of their owners is fraud, is corruption, is diabolic, is evil. Okay? So you must not engage in copy and paste, because that is the worst thief. That's the worst crime. You are worse than that person that goes to the bank to steal money. Okay, so it is open. Literature review opens up vista for future research. Of course, without literature review, you won't see an opening in order to cash in and do a new research. It is better done under relevant subteams. Research is usually a sequential, logical, and formally arranged, process in a manner that reflects the title, the gap created, the research question, research objectives, research significance, okay? And then up to theory, methods, and findings. So your literature review must be a reflection of your research questions or research objectives. What do I mean here? I mean, if you have something like the first research objective to be historical processes that sustain poverty, then you say historical processes and poverty. That becomes a sub-theme for your review. So all the research objectives you have 4, 5, 3, whatever. You list them as sub-themes that you will review literatures in their relevant areas under. Am I making sense here? Yeah. At this point, we're going to be talking about the class activity. We have been mute all this while, just listening. I want you to talk to me now. Teach me a little bit. Remind me of what we have said so far. Somebody should raise up his hand or her hand and mention the 3 importance of literature review. 1 per person, 1 per student. Raise your hand up, please. Mention one of the 3 importance of literature review. Yes, Anne Ogochukwu, almost the first student to come into this class. Please unmute yourself and fire on. Anne.
Okay. From our discussion so far, I got to understand that the importance of literature review is that it demonstrates weakness and strength of previous research.
Wonderful, wonderful one, wonderful. That is the queen of the house. Thank you so much. The next is Usare Daniel, the professor in the making. Unmute yourself and address us, please. Yeah. We have taken your point, Anne, and that is absolutely correct. So we are waiting for Mr. Busare Daniel. Talk to us. Mention your own one importance of literature review. We are waiting for you, Mr. Busare. Okay, while we are waiting, let us give Anne, Eunice. Let's give Eunice Ola. Unmute yourself, please, and then answer the question.
Okay, it's open up further discussion on a given subject matter.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's the second queen of the house. Please, let's give them a clap.
Thank
the
you,
women
sir.
are taking the lead. You know, the women are taking the lead. Busare, is it your network or what? We cannot hear you. So the next person is Victoria Achaka. Your hand is up. Unmute yourself and address us.
Yes, literature review is a secondary data review in line with research objectivity.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is great. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, yes, Victoria. Sir. You have all done well. Thank you so much. So we move on to the next segment. The next segment is dealing with resources available for literature reviewers. I mean, the researcher. These resources cut across database and material resources. Okay, so under database resources available, we have such resource database as Gestor database. We have YouTube database. We have Google Scholar database. We have abstracting and indexing databases. We have discipline-specific databases. We have multidisciplinary databases. We have publishers databases. So on this note, we are trying to let you know that there are databases that helps you. They are all online that helps you to do proper literature review without necessarily consulting library, just library cover copy library. These ones are virtual library that you can consult even on your bed, in your bedroom. Gestor is one giant one, globally known, globally acclaimed. Your school, National Open University, is subscribed to it. For many of you, because you are so engrossed in your centers, you do not find time to come to the headquarters in Jabi to take advantage of the resources you have for research skill development. You know, the gestor has got that username and then passwords. So if you come around, you go to your main library, they will take you through how to use gestor database. Google Scholar is one open access database that we are all familiar with, just like we are familiar with YouTube database. So is abstracting and indexing databases, disciplinary specific databases, multidisciplinary databases, and publishers databases. These ones are open access that you can open and access whatsoever it is that you want to find out about issues of research. So we go to the next resources available for a reviewer in terms of material resources. While the previous resources in terms of database are bases where you get these materials out from, these resources available due to material resources are as follows: journal articles, books, book chapters, magazine, monograph, newspaper, case studies. Okay?
It truly is a hot nigga.
Hello? Esther. Welcome to the house. So the next thing, the last but not the least, is the gadgets needed as a researcher and literature reviewer. There are many gadgets that you can think about that you must use while conducting literature review, while recording information from your literature review. They are basically used to record information, to capture information. Okay, so some of them are the use of tape recorder. Nowadays, we use our phones even better than the real conventional tape recorder. Some others use freehand, but freehand used to be the traditional way of doing it, taking records, you know, by handwriting. These days, everything has gone digital. You either use your tape recorder. The major advantage of tape recorder is that it captures the information without any dilution, without any infiltration. But freehand record can make an omission, make a mistake. You know, it is more vulnerable to error. Another one is snapshots or photograph. Many people who are dealing with environmental issues, dealing with participant observation researchers, you know, they use snapshots. Some use phone, some use conventional photograph. Another one are those who are reviewing case studies. Because of the volume and the sensitivity of these cases, as are being reviewed, you need to be sure of the content by making a duplication. You do photocopy, or you have different ways of duplicating the case study. So this is where we draw the curtain in today's narratives or exposition of the content of today's class. We will not pass or relapse into class discussion without concluding this way, that literature review in research relates to how a researcher engages previous research efforts with intention to unveil the weakness and strength of findings, methods, theory, gap, and title of previous work. Ladies and gentlemen, it is at this point we close the curtain for the lecture. Now I swing the floodgate open for us to get into class and begin to engage the content of the class. Let us begin to see what to discuss, your observations, your questions, and whatever it is you want to bring in as issue of discussion related to the topic, literature review processes. Please fire on. Feel free as I withdraw my screen share for us to go into the classroom for discussion. I want to thank you so much for the attention. Let us move in to the next level of the class. Thank you for giving me the attention and for viewing my screen share. I stop the share right now. Thank you. Yeah. So this is time for us to rub minds together within the next 16 minutes to 5 o'clock. Your hands is up, Ann Ogochukwu. Your hands is up, Eunice Ola. Please, let's start with Ann Ogochukwu. Please mute yourself and ask your question or make your observation.
Okay, sir. Please, thank you very much.
Yes.
I want you to please throw more light in one of the importance of a literature review, where you say that literature review is a secondary data reviewed in line with research objective.
Good, my dear. The point I was making there is that literature review is a second-hand information. Is that not so? When you pick a book, in the library, is it you? Are you the author?
No,
of course,
sir.
you are not. So it is someone else's book, someone else's knowledge, someone else's research, someone else's production, knowledge produced. So you want to visit it in order to learn from it, in order to see what you can gain from it. So at that point, it is secondary. Unlike the knowledge that you produce yourself, your project, for instance. Do you review your project?
No, sir.
Can a project writer begin to review his own project? You only review it to strengthen it, to when others have reviewed it for you and point out the weakness. So you take it and strengthen the weakness of that project. So that one is not literature review, is editing process. So what makes literature review the process that produce secondary data is that the reviewer is not the direct owner of that content, rather another person. The one that is primary data is the one that you walk up to someone else to say, fill this questionnaire for me. Oh, let me interview you on corruption. and the person is talking to you or feeling something for you, that one is primary data.
Okay.
Is there any other confusion?
Not really, sir.
Thank you so much, Anne. Thank you so much. So the next person is Eunice Ola. Please unmute yourself and then let's talk, please.
Okay, from what you said, is that
Okay.
primary data is like questionnaire and face-to-face interaction, right? Okay.
It's got
and,
from
on the
primary
field.
data is got from questionnaire, from face-to-face interaction, from also
Yes.
archive.
Okay. And now, and secondary data is from books, from newspapers, and
Magazine,
what magazines, journals,
book
and what
chapters,
exactly what have you?
monograph,
Okay.
case studies, and so on.
Okay, now let's say for instance, now this particular course you're taking us, that's method in research method in criminology.
Criminology, yes.
Yes, I'm using your course as a case study. From the definition, when reading it, I got to see a lot of people. Let's say, for instance, John 2005, .. 2 or something like that. If I'm to define what research methodology is or research method is now, if I don't put those guys, their how do I call it? Specify the owner of that definition or some scholars.
Okay, now let me help you.
Okay.
Eunice. Yeah,
Yes.
I get you. You are talking about the acknowledgement
Exactly.
of knowledge and acknowledgement of knowledge production, right? That's exactly what I understand from your question.
Yes.
The acknowledgement of knowledge production is vital. Without it, you have incriminated yourself. And so
if we don't do that in the exams, that means we've incriminated ourselves.
You've incriminated yourself by committing the fraud of plagiarism if you don't acknowledge knowledge that you get from literature.
Okay.
And then again, if you are talking about the definition of research, for instance,
yes.
or if you are talking about anything about research that you pick from your course material as now provided, there are expert researchers, no researchers. Have you heard about NACMEAs and NACMEAs? That is international. Then locally, have you read about Olutayo?
Yeah.
You've heard about Olutayo?
Yeah.
You've also heard about Aderent?
Yes, I have.
There are many of them like that, great scholars, in Nigerian context. Even the late Femi Odekunle is a great, a renowned scholar, researcher. So what I'm trying to say in effect is that you must not know them to acknowledge their work, but wherever their work is shown, and you want to use that idea they projected there, you must end using it with acknowledgement where the source. That's all.
Oh, okay.
Do you understand?
The reason why I was asking is because pertaining to exams, right? So there are sometimes we might just conjoin the acknowledgement. Those are roots that define it. So I want to be sure if I'm supposed to put John 2005 I-2, that's page 2, and I decide and I mistakenly put John 2005 page 15.
Okay, if you make that's mistake, you have even answered the question yourself. That how can something be 2004 and you go and write 2005? That's mistake, and that is error. You understand? So you must be sure of in fact, what you do when you pick up a book to review is not to jump into the book and start reading. The first thing to do is to see from the cover page. Go to that index where they wrote everything about the year of publication, the publisher, the author, and then a brief summary. Okay, you take note of all of that, and then before you go into the work, you understand. In that way, you would have taken note of the salient issues of date and names and the titles and everything, and publishers too, and location of publication.
All right, thanks
pages,
so much, sir.
my beloved. Thank you so much, Ola. The Daniel Busari's hand is up too. So can we give Daniel opportunity to talk to us? Daniel, over to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. During the course of the teaching, you said something. You said copy and paste is a crime.
Yes.
Copy and paste is a crime.
It's a big crime, very big one.
Yes. So if I am, for example, preparing my project, and then I get an information that is really vital to me, how am I going to, articulate it into my project?
God bless you, my dear. God bless you, my dear brother. When you see information that is very vital to you,
yes, sir.
You will reconstruct the information in your own language. In your own language. You know, when I say Busari is living in Lagos.
Yes, sir.
Busari's residence is Lagos.
Yes, sir.
Busari is from Lagos.
Yes, sir.
Busari is a Lagosian.
Yes, sir.
Are we not saying the same thing?
Yes, we are, sir.
In all of these things, no matter the way you put it, we are saying the same thing, that you are from Lagos.
Yes, sir.
So if somebody say the crime rate in Nigeria is so high, what stops you from saying that crime is surging in Nigeria?
Okay.
Crime is declining in Nigeria. You understand? There are so many ways to put, but just make sure you don't carry word for word of authors. Because if you do, right now your university, your wonderful university, National Open University, has procured original licensed plagiarism test software called Turnitin. So all your projects subsequently, before they are moderated, they are going to be turned in. They are going to be examined for fraud, examined for plagiarism. If there is any iota of copy and paste there, if they will throw it away, it won't go through moderation. Yes, so that's the new innovation that now has brought in now. And I'm using this classified information that I'm giving you. So for those of you who refuse to attend this class or who feel that they know it better, it's okay, but we will meet at the point of the research moderation. Because if your project comes and because of plagiarism you've committed, it does not go through, then that means you will repeat your class. You will re-register it the next year. And it will not be the same topic you did this time that will be given to you next time. So I think it's better that we are all on the same page in this class, attend the class, learn what you can learn, and then apply it so that this your 1 year, 6 months or thereabout program will go smoothly, because research is a fundamental, basic aspect of your program. Thank you, Mr. Busare.
Yes.
So it seems Anne Ogochukwu is still, thank you, my dear, is still interested in asking some more questions or observation. I can see her hands up. Can you address us?
Okay, sir. Thank you for giving me opportunity.
Okay, thank you.
Again.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So my is in line with a comment you made while you were trying to why you were discussing, or why you were trying to, discuss or tell us about the topics of today, discuss on it. So now you say that in
the preambles.
Yes, that in literature review, you don't just review few. For instance, if you're writing on, let's say, should I say, abortion, for instance. Now, you don't just review 3 books and think you've gotten an idea from what you said. Now, I want to know, like, how many books should one review in a
Thank you, Miss Anne. Now, when I was doing my PhD thesis, research thesis, okay, my supervisor asked me to go and get either hard or soft copies of journals, 200 pieces, different. All of them must be related to my topic, to my area of interest. Okay, so I thought that it was like punishment to me, but it was when I had done that, and then I went through it all, because he guided me on how to actually do the literature. Because it's not just reading what others have done. If there's no intent in your mind, that there's nothing you are putting your eyes on to look for in that literature, you end up just scanning through books and end up not getting any point there. So, but this man took me through those 200 journals, you know, and then today I'm better for it. Because to you, a journal might be too cumbersome to read. No, there are salient portions that you have to go into and get the conclusions or findings, okay, and relate it to the methods, relate it to the gaps, relate it to the title. So if they cohere, if they rhyme, that means that person is talking sense. If there is no fault in terms of the international standard, then that person is talking point, is talking fact, is talking law. But if there are faults that you know with evidence, then that work will be negated. And it doesn't matter whether you negate a work or you approve of a work. As a researcher, you are not held responsible for agreeing or disagreeing with any work. After all, it is because of agreement and disagreement that university education is established globally. If there is no argument, there will be no university. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so did I answer your question, or I over-digressed?
No, sir. But what I got from your explanation is that there is no limitation to the number of books.
God bless you. That's where I'm going. So you can take, it depends on your scope, the scope of your work. You know, in your chapter 1, you write up to the scope of your work. If the scope of your work is wide, then it means that you have to review wide. But if the scope of your work is limited, then you have to review in tandem with the scope of your work. That is it. It is the scope of your work that determines the number of literature that you have to review.
Thank you, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Abel Tayo Akimboale, you're welcome. Amarachi Jennifer, Juliana Obani Yulu, Dawari Williams, Victoria Chaka. So let me hear you guys. We are almost come to the end of the discussion, but I can still spare some 10-20 minutes. If you have anything for us to discuss or any question of concern, please raise your hands up and let us discuss. Yes, Abel Tayo Akimbo, unmute yourself and then talk to the house, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, my brother. God bless you. This is evening here.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, my beloved.
I'm calling from Ondo State Akure Center.
Great.
I've missed a lot of facilitations, a lot of online classes like this, I would just wish, okay, what is your advice for people like us that are coming from the first time, sir?
Yeah, my advice is that by the end of the 8th week, the 8th week of this facilitation, this is the 4th week, yes, I will have one week extra added to those 8 weeks to carry you on a rehearsal of all we have done from topic number 1 to topic number 8.
Yes, sir.
I have 8 topics in the series of this first semester facilitation. So I must ensure that before I bid you farewell or bye, that all the topics are put together and then we take it, within that extra 1 week that I will add. It is 2 weeks to the end of the facilitation that I will bring out a timetable on how we're going to do the revision classes.
All right, sir. All right, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. So who else has something to say? Otherwise, then, Amarachi Jennifer, please unmute yourself and then talk to us, please. Yeah, Amarachi Jennifer, I see your hand up. Unmute yourself and talk to us, please. Okay, while you are getting yourself ready, we switch over to Ola Eunice. Ola, I see your hands up. Can you unmute yourself and talk to the house?
Okay, so I don't know, is it between now and the 8th week we are going to do our TMA or something?
Your TMA is long posted. It's already there. I posted all your TMA since it's over 2 months. I posted your TMAs, all of them from my department. Whether you are a PG or you are a BSc or you are a master's program, the students.
So I'm hearing it.
All your TMAs are online waiting for you. So it will be good that you go do it so before the timeline.
When is the deadline, please?
I wouldn't know, but I'm giving you a privileged information as your head of department.
All right, sir. All right, sir.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, Amarachi Jennifer, are you on? Please unmute yourself and let's talk. Hello? Hello? So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may we call it, okay, I can see the hand of Anne Ogochukwu is up. Can we hear you?
Okay, sir, please, my question is in regards to the TMA you just mentioned. I'm just hearing for the first time that our TMA has been posted by you. I don't, like, sir, I don't get information about anything. It's just this class that I attend out of the 8 classes I'm having online facilitation. I don't get notification, nothing.
Wow, unfortunate. So please, your TMA had been on since 2 months ago. And this facilitation, this is the fourth class we have had. 4th class. But those of you who have just started today, I assure you that nothing spoiled, that by the end of the 8th week, that is, of the facilitation, that I will use 1 week to run down all the classes from topic 1 to topic 8 for you. So, but in 2 weeks to the end of the facilitation period, I'll bring out a timetable on how we're going to do it, on the days and times. Yeah, so Daniel Gusare, please.
Thank you.
All right,
yes,
sir.
Thank you.
Sir.
Hello. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
Hello.
Just to share an information to the
Fine,
class.
I'm in a class, please. I'll
TMA 1 begins on Friday. TMA 1 begins on Friday. That is
Is that
20th.
where are you getting that information?
It's on the I'm on the Now platform for PGD students.
Great. Daniel Busari, thank you very much for that exposition.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So
All right.
it starts on Friday and it lasts for 10 days. Then TME2 begins after 10 days and lasts for 10 days. Then TME3.
Thank you so very much, my dearest. So let them know. Let them know. I'm surprised that people don't know that their TMAs are already up long ago.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so very much, House. I quite enjoyed this house, the discussion, the lesson, the class discussions, the various questions you have thrown across, and the manner of articulation you have demonstrated and displayed. I'm so happy, and I pray and believe that next week we'll do it better. 4 to 5, Wednesday next week. So please endeavor to inform your colleagues that there is no better way to be part of what your school, the innovations in your school than this. Inform your colleagues to hook up, because I ensure that all the email addresses I have of all of you under PGD, that all of them, I send mail to them. Today, even in the link to this class, I send mail every class before the class commences. So there is no reason why students should not be part of this wonderful initiative. Thank you so very much as I take my leave right now. I don't know if there is, Mr. Daniel Busare, do you have anything else to say, or what you have just said? Your hand is still up.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. It was a mistake.
Okay, my dear. Thank you. Then, Mr. Abel Tayo Akim, do you still have any other thing to say? Your hand is still up.
Oh, sorry, sir. Just an observation, please, sir.
Okay, my dear. Thank you.
I registered for 8 courses. And among those 8 courses, only 3 are scheduled for online facilitation. Please, how can I go about it?
Okay. The point is that it's not all the courses that are scheduled for facilitation, because of dearth of manpower, you know. So, but what I have done as head of department is to critically look at the courses and see the ones that are really inevitable. For instance, your research. We discover that we don't know the value of research until you start doing the research, the practice itself. You discover that if you don't know these rudiments we are talking about, it will just be practically impossible for you to flow with your supervisor. It is at that point many of you will go into contracting people to do what you ought to do with ease, you know. And then when you are doing that, you are not helping yourself because you are not gaining anything. Instead, you are losing out, you know. So, and when students relapse into depending on money to get a project done, then that means that student is unfortunate he has not passed through school, because research skill is the only thing that provides solution, you know, not the grammar you are talking about, what other courses you got A. It is your research skill that distinguishes you from other colleagues or contemporaries of yours in providing solution to everyday social problems. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Abel. So
thank you, sir.
On this note, I say do have a good evening and remain blessed. I hope that I'll see you more and many more next week, 4 to 5. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
So bye-bye.
Yes, bye-bye. Thank you.